I would rather keep myself and have my personality than be able to focus for longer and concentrate, but then not be myself.
I always run and hit the wall. I'd rather jump and risk the fall. I see no limits in the sky, no little by little here. No, got stuck on working on myself. Thought I was wrong and needed help, but I'm just different, something else. No little by little here, 'cause I get my no little by little. I pour out my heart.
So yeah, after 2 months of being on ADHD medication, Elvanse specifically, or Vyvanse if you're from the USA, I have decided to quit. So yeah, you're probably wondering why. When I first had it, I noticed how I really felt so calm. I really liked how I was able to process things in more of a logical or practical way without overthinking as much and being so caught up in my emotions. And I really liked how I was just able to like get on with things without, you know, like umming and ahhing and just having so many indecisive moments and things like that. So I really liked that about the Elvanse, and I did feel like I could focus or concentrate for longer, which is great. And I kind of felt like, you know, a horse that has blinkers on and they can obviously only see like what's in front of them, they're not getting distracted by everything that's around them. That's kind of how I felt. And at first it was a great thing because I was like, oh, I'm not hearing my neighbours as much and I'm not getting distracted by sounds as much, and I'm just able to like get on with stuff, you know, and be more in my zone. I wasn't being so indecisive about simple tasks, like instead of umming and ahhing over it, if I needed to wash up the dishes, instead of thinking too much. This is so like typical ADHD right now, but there's this squirrel outside and it's sitting on this tree stump and it looks so cute. I bet you by the time I turn the camera around it would have moved. Let me see if I can get it. Oh my god, oh, it's run off. Ah, oh, darn it. I knew it would run off. But it was just sitting on that little tree stump and it looks so adorable. It was sat on this tree stump like this, just looking out into the distance, and like, you know when squirrels have a white belly and then they're grey on the outside, you could see its little white fluffy belly and it was so cute. Oh, such a typical ADHD thing, like, oh god. By the way, I can focus very well actually. Typically people assume that people who have ADHD can't focus. Like, you can, it's just a lot of the time you kind of almost have not too much focus, but like you just focus on so many things rather than just the one thing. So for example, I saw the cute squirrel out of the corner of my eye and I had to just mention it anyway, and I just found like I wasn't absolutely exhausted when I would get to the end of a day, or like after I would be teaching, I wouldn't find myself being as drained at the end of my classes, which was great. So those were the things that I did like about it. While that was good, I did notice some things that I didn't like also. So first of all, it doesn't work when it's your time of the month. So when you're on your period, for like a week before you're about to start your period, and then also a good couple of days on your period, it doesn't work really. You find yourself just thinking like, have I taken my tablet today? And then I'll be like, yeah, I definitely have, but I wouldn't really feel it kicking in. So it doesn't work when it's your time of the month anyway. And I did tell my prescriber about it, and she said that increasing my dose overall might help with that, but there's no guarantee. And also as well, most of the time with most women, it just doesn't work. So then I was thinking like, I'm taking something that is working for, you know, not the whole time that it could be working, which is a little bit annoying. And also, like, something that really bothered me is that I felt like I was flat throughout the day. So although I was saying it was good that it would make me more practical and not as emotional, like, I'm a really emotional person. Like, I'm the type of person that cries at the drop of a hat, like, but crying at good things as well as negative things too. So I don't know, if I see like a really cute old couple that are dancing or something, like that will make me cry, because I'm like, that is just so beautiful. And then equally as well, if something has really bothered me and I'm just feeling like really down, or I'm feeling, you know, in a bad way, then I can feel really low about that too. I have always been like a super emotional person, like, you know, typical wear my heart on my sleeve kind of thing, probably a bit too much. If you've done the 16 personality type quiz thing, I'm an INFP, and I just found like when I was on Elvanse, I felt pretty flat throughout the day. Usual things that would make me feel excited would not have much of an effect on me, or like, yeah, I just found like I didn't have as much of an enthusiasm for life. Obviously it's natural to have days where, you know, you're a bit more jolly, and then days where you're just feeling a bit sad. Like, naturally as human beings, we have highs and lows, so nobody is one way all of the time. But I just did notice that I was definitely feeling less light-hearted and just a bit more heavy in my mind. Now there's a cat chasing a squirrel. Shall I close the blinds? Because I cannot carry on with what I'm saying without, oh, the cat's chasing the squirrel again. Oh, now there's two cats. I couldn't get them because they were too fast. But yeah, then there ended up being two cats, and the two cats were like tag teaming, trying to catch this squirrel. So yeah, all the drama is happening right now where I live. Two cats against one squirrel. I wonder who's gonna win. I mean, obviously the squirrel's gonna get away, isn't it? I feel like the squirrel is almost teasing the cats, because the squirrel knows that they're not gonna be able to catch it because the squirrel is too quick. So I do feel like the squirrel is just laughing to himself or herself. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Anywho, I'm pretty sure if I was on the Elvanse, I probably would not care as much as I currently do. Yeah, so I really cannot remember what I was talking about. Yeah, so I was saying about feelings. Yeah, I just noticed that I was feeling a bit flat, and then also once the medication would wear off, which would usually be around like 12, 1, 2, 3, it's when it would start to wear off, I would get a crash. And it's normal to get a crash. Everyone that has ADHD medication usually gets to a point where, as they can feel the medication leaving their body, they start to feel like anxious or just very down. And that's exactly how I felt. Like every evening, not always every evening, but most evenings I would feel just really low and just, yeah, really down, but for like no reason. And I would find myself just basically having a really low mood, and also often having anxiety with that as well. Like when I would take the Elvanse at the start of the day, fine, like no heart palpitations, feeling really calm, everything's okay. And then, as I said, as I would feel the medication start to leave my body, that's when I would feel like really down, low mood, anxious. And yeah, it was just a little bit intense. And I remember saying to my prescriber that I was feeling like this and I was finding the crashes a lot. And she said to me that, you know, oh, it's very common, don't worry about it. A lot of people get this. It's just one of those things. It might get better as time goes on, but then again, it might not. So a lot of the time it is just part and parcel of being on ADHD medication. So that was another big factor as well, because every day I was starting to feel almost anxious at a certain time, because partly because that's when the medication was leaving my body, but then partly as well because I knew that I was going to be feeling rough for the next however long of the day. So then again, I started to question and think, is this worth it? I'm not too sure. At the moment, there's a shortage with ADHD medication around the whole of the UK. So it's really, really difficult to find pharmacies that have Elvanse in stock. Every month I would have to get a new prescription. I'd have to call up about 30 different pharmacies around the West Midlands, around Birmingham, to try and find a pharmacy that had Elvanse in stock. And luckily I did manage to find some Elvanse in that time, but it was such a hassle and it just was very time consuming and very stressful because I didn't know whether I was going to be able to get my prescription or not. So that was another thing that was just a little bit annoying. And then also as well, I don't think I mentioned, but I just did feel like my personality was a little bit muted. I just felt like I'd lost like a little bit of my spark. Yeah, I don't know, like things that I would usually find exciting, you know, the simple things like a bright blue sky in the morning or a lovely cup of coffee or reading my book at the end of a night. Like, I don't know, like I didn't care about them as much. I just kind of couldn't find as much joy in the little things as much as I usually would. I would rather keep myself and have my personality and everything that makes me me than be able to focus for longer and concentrate but then not be myself. I just felt like I wasn't sure it was worth it for me anymore, and I just missed my usual self. I'm not saying I was a completely different person. I wasn't. I was still myself, but to a degree. Yeah, it's just one of those things really. You've just got to decide whether it's right for you. I'm completely pro medication. I'm not against it or anything like that. I definitely think there are so many benefits to ADHD medication, and I definitely think that anyone should try it because so many people feel like it changes their life for the better. It's just so different for each person. I feel really, really lucky that I was able to try it in the first place, and I don't regret it.
I don't wanna care so much, 'cause I really care too much. It's all just overwhelming, I'm just overthinking. I feel like I'm too much. Keep mistaking my anxiety for intuition, and stress keeps getting in the way of my ambition. Logically, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but my body doesn't agree with my brain. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying it's over before it starts. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying there's no one there who cares like I do. I really wanna feel.
Oh my god, did you see all of that pink? Absolutely beautiful. Oh wow. I love the idea of a pink Christmas tree. I think it's so like super girly and glam, which is what I love. But as much as I love the idea of a pink tree, I just feel like for the main living room tree, it's got to be like traditional red and green and gold. But I think if I had another Christmas tree, like if I had one in the bedroom or if I had a dressing room, I would definitely get a pink tree. Yeah, in the future, I would love to have like multiple Christmas trees. Speaking of Christmas as well, actually, I think I might decorate the tree potentially next week, because today is Monday the 6th of November. So Christmas is like round the corner. So I need to get a move on and yeah, start decorating. So I think I might do that next week. Done a little meditation, which was nice. It was good to just like unwind for a little bit. Sometimes when you meditate, you realize that you've not like had the time to breathe for the whole day, which sounds really silly because I mean, obviously we're breathing all the time naturally, but you just don't like take a real deep breath in and out sometimes throughout the day. And then by the end of the day, your stress levels are like up to here because you've not just taken the time to like exhale. Yeah, like just breathing makes such a huge difference. After doing that, I just feel like I've refreshed my brain almost. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.